Hey everybody, welcome back to the Driveway Engineer. I'm JR. Today I want to talk about which camshaft you should buy because it's a question that's coming up more and more frequently. A lot of you have seen my older video of, horsepower recipes for LSs, or, you follow Sloppy Mechanics and you're familiar with the Elgin cams, the Sloppy Stage 1, Stage 2, Stage 3. The reason that I picked those, and I'm sure the reason other people pick them as well, other than they're recommended, is not because they're the best camshaft in the world. It's because they're the best camshaft in the world for $235. If you have to start paying $250, $265, $300, there's better cams. And if it's not available, which they've been out of stock a lot lately, there's better cams. So you have other options. You don't have to put your whole build on hold or anything. And just real quick, I pulled up 3 of them. If you guys aren't aware, Summit has a whole line of LS camshafts, and they're either $260 or $285, I think. $289. So they're not that much. There's no need to spend $350, $400 on some of these other cams when these will get it done. Literally any cam at all is a solid 55, 60 horsepower over anything from the factory. And I mean, don't mess around with LS6 cams. Don't mess around with LS9 cams. Literally any aftermarket cam will stomp a hole in every factory cam. So just skip all that nonsense and go straight to whatever you're doing. Now, I choose these based on availability, cost, and how much I have to change in order to use them. Okay? For my truck, I'm okay with running a stall converter. I have lockup. I don't really care. I'm not going to drive it in the city a lot. It's just a cruiser and, to have fun and maybe do burnouts and drive down the highway. So having to have a converter wasn't really a deal breaker. Working with Ryan Jans, being able to get a budget converter for $500, kind of made the grade there. Once you go over about 610 thousandths of lift, you get into because you get into reduced base circle cams, which means they're ground smaller, and then you need longer push rods, and there's this whole rigmarole of add-on snowball costs that you want to avoid. Right? You want to stay below about 600 thousandths of lift. And as long as you stay below 600 thousandths of lift, you can use Pac 12-18 springs. And they're only about $125 to $150, depending on what day you catch them and where you find them at. So, like I said, I choose based on cost, how much other crap I have to change in order to use it, and nowadays availability, because there's so many problems with the Elgin cam. They're so popular, they can't seem to keep them in stock. But that's fine. There's other options. So the first option, if you don't want to change anything but you want more power, I would say you want to look at the Summit 8712 part number. And this is it here as of August 20th, 2019. It's $260 at Summit Racing. It's in stock. They'll ship it to you tomorrow. I'm not that far away, so I would have it by like Thursday. And Summit Racing, if you're watching, tomorrow's my birthday, and I just helped you sell a lot of camshafts, so send me some free stuff. You don't have to, with the 8712, let me roll down here, show you guys the specs. You can pause it and read the specs if you want. It's only 500 thousandths of lift. It's not a lot of duration. The lobe separation angle is 112, so it'll have a little bit of lope to it. But you don't have to change anything at all. You don't have to change your springs. You don't have to change your push rods. You don't have to change your converter. You can probably even get away without doing a tune. Although somebody's going to get on here and be like, you always need a tune every time by NASA. Whatever. It's probably fine. If you want to spend a little bit more money and still don't want to do anything like a converter or springs, the BTR cam for $300 is a pretty good deal. Like, if you don't want to change anything else. Next up if you're being honest with your build objective and your build goals, if you're never going to do a turbo, or you're going to do maybe a little bit of nitrous, you're going to stay NA, or you're going to do a little bit of nitrous, and you're willing to change the other things, and you like having a loose converter, and you don't mind buying push rod or springs, then the Summit 8707 is probably about the biggest naturally aspirated cam in this lineup. It's 600 thousandths of lift. It's 113 degree lobe separation angle with 3 degrees of advance ground in. It's supposed to pull to 7,000 RPM. It's very similar to the Elgin Sloppy Stage 3. It's a pretty good looking cam. And this is what I would have in Darrell if I were building it right now and didn't already have a camshaft. This is what I would use. It is the most expensive one of the bunch, though, at $289. But once you go to anything else from BTR, they go up to $400. And Texas Speed starts at $400. So there's really nothing else in the category. Lastly would be Summit 8706. This is a turbo cam. This is going to require Pack 1218 springs. It's going to require at least a 3,400 RPM converter. I'm on the same page. That's why the specs are the same. Okay, it's 113 degree low separation angle on a 4 degree advance. 600 thousandths by 570. It favors that exhaust side to keep the spool up. Sorry, let me pull this up here. Intake duration, 226 by 230 at 50. It's pretty similar to the Sloppy. It's kind of like a hybrid Sloppy Stage 2, Stage 3. And this one, again, is only $259. So I might even run this instead of the 8707 just so I can keep the extra $30 in my pocket, because I don't think the difference would be all that great. But if you're really, really doing NA and you're going to stay NA, you should probably run this one. That's pretty much it. That's my take on these cams. There are alternatives to the Elgins out there. You don't have to wait it out. Of course, if the Elgins become available, I'd prefer them for $235. That's what I paid for mine. It's all about cost. I'm totally willing to leave 8 horsepower on the table to save, $100. So until next time, check us out on Facebook at The Driveway Engineer. And be sure to like and share and subscribe. And we will see you next time.